My heroes are not the kind that are esteemed. They don't have their holidays and shit, you know. But the more recent ones are probably Malcolm X. I read his autobiography, and I also read a biography about him. And I saw the movie, which I think was that Denzel Washington that played him? I saw it a long time ago. It was like over 20 years ago. I think it's an old movie now. But anyway, that was a good movie. What I like about Malcolm X a lot is he's a complicated character. And he was a rebel at many levels. He rebelled against himself. And I think that I have great respect for people who rebel against themselves. I've had to do that my whole fucking life. I've had to deconstruct my mind and reconstruct it. I've had to question my philosophy over and over and over. And it used to happen a lot, and it was really uncomfortable. But it doesn't happen as much now because now I'm able to do it faster because I've gone through a lot of the thought processes and I have a lot more books and thought systems to draw upon. And so I can question myself, but a lot of the questions I think I've resolved for myself. And this is part of, look at the gray and the beard and shit. It's like I've gone through it enough that I have a fair amount of trust in the conclusions I've come to. And that doesn't mean that my conclusions are beyond question, but I'm done questioning basic shit like, do I exist? Do other people exist? I mean, that shit went away in my early 20s. It's like, you know. So there's a lot of philosophy you should get involved with, like epistemology. How do you know what's true? And there's just a whole bunch of crap now where I just meet somebody and they say dumbass shit, and I'm like, okay, our conversation's done. You're out because you're unable to think. And that's very harsh of me. It's very non empathetic. But I'm done with fucking idiots. And I'm willing to admit that there are idiots in the world. I don't have to put up with every dumb fuck that supports violence and death, even though they just support homeopathy because they're stupid. You know? Oh. I have put up with that shit. I actually had a chick here and had a bunch of volunteers, meaning I'm paying them to exist here, sit through a class about herbology and herbalism or whatever, and there was a bunch of homeopathy shit in it, and I didn't say a goddamn word. But I was paying for that, and now I don't pay for that shit. I'm not going to pay for other people's lies and shit. So, at some point, I guess, if you go through the very hardcore process you go through as me, which I don't know anyone else that has done what I've done. I don't know a single one. Many people just believe what they believe. And they've never ripped it apart so much as I have. And they haven't implemented it in the practical world. They haven't had 3,000 people visit their home and had to deal with all these different personalities fucking their shit up. So whatever position I've gotten myself into, I am pretty confident I know a bunch of crap other people don't know through real experience and horrible experiences, some of them that, if you experienced 5 of them, they would be like the 5 worst experiences in your life. I've experienced 100. So I feel very confident that I know what to fear. I know what the dangers in the community setting are. I know what kind of people have which attributes that you should cut the fuck you should cut them the fuck out of the community. Have no mercy. And then you're still going to have to work with the good people because they're fucked up too. I'm fucked up too. I'm barely qualified to join the community that I envision. And that's a great realization to have as you look in the mirror and say, Am I good enough for what I envision a good community would be? And if you can't come to that conclusion and have that level of self-awareness and self-criticism, maybe you're not really ready for community. It's some hardcore thought. Are you good enough? I don't know that I am. I mean, look, I drink too much. That shouldn't be that great a thing. I don't know if it's a total deal breaker, but pretty close. The only good thing is I'll die and it won't matter. So I can collect people who are better than me, make something better than I am, with better people than I am, and make that function as teams, and have good philosophy, and then, fuck it. I got 20 years at most, and I'd be amazed if I made it that far. So, as far as guru fuckers go, I'm not very arrogant. I'm not a guru who thinks I have anything extra fancy, and you should be scared shitless of any spiritual gurus. Avoid them like the plague. And figure out how can we gather really amazing people together to create something that is greater than any one of us. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta find a way to shut my brain off, because my brain's really hard to shut off. And it's really annoying to be me, actually. I really hope you're not like me. I'm not a good role model in that way. I think I'm biologically fucked up in the head. And I might have to take another half a sleeping pill to just go to sleep. And I'm already drinking beer, and it's like, what the fuck do I have to do to find my off switch? You know? I'll write in my notebook for a while. I'll think of some shit, and I hope I have something to offer you. Because I got to do something useful in my life to die with a smile on my face that I was a good person. That's my goal. Goodbye.